So, Cajon Valley Union School District Board member Jim Miller joins us to talk about the El Cajon kids stuck in Afghanistan.
Did you know law-abiding gun shops?
I know. Did you know law-abiding gun shops and manufacturers had their accounts shut down because of virtual signaling companies that guns are inappropriate? Well, shutting down lawful businesses is wrong, which is why we are so excited to have 365 Glacier Payments as a 10-ring partner. 365 Glacier Payment specializes in serving companies in the firearms industry. And if you have a business that accepts credit cards, give them a call today so you can enjoy the peace of mind that your accounts won't be shut down and also enjoy the best rates. Visit their website at 365glacierpayments.com.
Okay, before we bring Jim on the line, who is awesome, I'm so glad we're going to have him on this week. Wyatt, tell us about, you were just about to tell us about, we were talking last couple segments to Wyatt and Lindell from Strategic Operations and some of the really cool, very, very realistic medical training that you get from them. Talk about the class that you were about to tell us about.
For our gun owner population and range safety officers and anyone who would like to learn how they could save a life or control bleeding, we have a course called TECC Leo, and it's a 1-day, 8-hour course that was created by the NAEMT, National Association of EMTs. It came out last year, and we teach this course to numerous customers, agencies, departments, and we have an open enrolled class every other month where anybody can take it. They don't have to be an LE. They don't have to be EMT. It's open to everybody. And it's a popular course. We teach the ins and outs of hemorrhage control, how to do tourniquets, mass wound packing with combat gauze or regular gauze, how to bandage wounds, what's the difference between an arterial bleed and not an arterial bleed, how to save lives, put on the chest seals for gunshot wounds. And we teach it's the morning time is skill stations and PowerPoint presentations. And then in the afternoon, we run a few trauma scenarios, patient simulations, and there's a written test. They get a 4-year certificate, and it's it's a national approved course and approved by California Post as well.
And where do they go? What's the website?
Strategic Operations under medical training. It's called TECC Leo, and it's also on the NAEMT website under education. You can locate courses in San Diego as well.
All right, cool.
Okay, so we've got Jim Miller on the line here, and Jim is one of our San Diego County Gun Owner board members. He's also a school board member for Cajon Valley Union School District. So, Jim, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me back on.
So, hey, what I wanted to talk to you about, because, being a gun show, we typically talk about gun stuff, but occasionally we talk about other things. And last week, I think I heard it on Carl DeMaio, where they were talking about a group of, I think it's 20 kids or 20 students from Cajon Valley were stuck in Afghanistan with all the stuff that was going on. So I thought I'd call and ask you about that, see what you could tell us.
Sure. So it starts off with the fact that Cajon Valley, our district was the most impacted district under the Obama administration with refugees from the Middle East. We already have a pre-existing Middle East population of Chaldeans, which are Iraqi Christians, and in the decision of the federal government, they thought that placing additional Middle Easterners into the East County would be a great idea. Of course, most of the refugees are currently Muslim, so not knowing the history of the Middle East, apparently the federal government decided to mix those two groups. Cajon Valley, we have established a family and community engagement office called FACE, and it has worked tremendously. It's gotten national attention where we go out. We work with our community liaisons. We have something like 67 different languages and sub-dialects of students and families within our borders. And we create liaisons from the community to then reach out to their community members that work with our teachers, our administrators, and they do a tremendous job. We've had this program in place for now 7 years. We found out that 24 of our students and approximately 16 parents had gone back to Afghanistan after school got out in June to visit family because they knew about the drawdown, and they certainly knew that it may be the last time they get to see their extended family in Afghanistan. We then got a call that they wanted to save from a couple of families, that they wanted to save spaces because they had tickets to come back, but they were stuck. They could not get out of Afghanistan because nobody expected or at least foresaw the Afghanistan government falling apart as quickly as it did, and the Taliban running all the way to Kabul. So they couldn't get out. We then turned and pivoted and contacted Darrell Ice's office, and Ice's office has been tremendous, coordinating with different operations commands and different elements of the State Department to start to collect our kids. So I can tell you as a first announcement, has not been made public yet, but I have authorization to say this, that we have our second family back in California, in Southern California, as of today.
Wow, congratulations.
Really?
So we have 2 families all the way back. We have 4 that have been collected and are supposedly at least in processing within the gates at the airport. And we have 1 we were hoping to have updates on. We still have 1 that's technically in country and still in hostile territory. Now, I want you to think about this and why it's so important for these particular family members. They're already here. And because the federal government gave the Taliban a list of every person that we wanted to bring out, the Taliban have the list of our kids and our families. These are families that helped our military, interpreters and others, special operations Afghani forces, and family members. So these kids and these families, they're on the target list. We got to get them out of there. But I cannot thank our face office for coordinating and getting these kids' names to the right people, because I want you to think about this too. It's estimated that there's 40,000 Afghan refugees in San Diego County. That's possibly 2,000 students estimated to possibly still be in Afghanistan. But only Cajon Valley has established an office that interacts with the community, so we know where our kids are, so we can go get them. It's a tragedy as to what's going on, but certainly back to Gun Sports Radio, it's men with guns going out in the middle of the night bringing these kids home. And I have nothing but thanks for those who are risking their lives to get these kids back home.
So they were, what an amazing story. So the families were, I guess the question is, were they led to believe, or were they just under the impression that this was, that they'd be protected by, American military when they went over there, and then they were kind of left hanging once they got there? Is that an accurate way of putting it?
I would put it this way. When you were a kid, did you ever travel with your family back to see family in other parts of either the country or maybe in a different country?
Sure.
That's exactly what these people did. Just like any other summer. They get out on June 17th. They had plans to be back by middle to late July, right? The drawdown wasn't supposed to happen until August 31st. And once we closed the military air base at Bagram, right, all hell broke loose. Everything turned within about 10 days. Nobody announced, there was no announcement by the federal government to anybody in June, oh, by the way, our 1 remaining military air asset base will be shut down, the last week of July? And as such, no aerial surveillance or air support can be provided to Taliban troops without 6-hour sorties from a different base. Nobody said that.
And like you were saying,
they just went back to say, hey, we went back to see family. That's all they did.
Yeah, no one was expecting that. And apparently we didn't even let our allies know that we were going to do that.
We left in the middle of the night.
So,
exactly.
So, yeah, you couldn't expect civilians to know that or be aware of that.
No, so they go back again, knowing that there's a drawdown by August 31st, knowing that if they can get back, they had tickets. It's not like they didn't have tickets. They had travel passports, they had their tickets, they had their visas, they had everything that they needed to do to travel back by the end of July, give or take. But the Taliban rushed in, took over everything. So I've had and Mike, you know me pretty well, I try not to argue with people when I don't have to, but I get a little upset when people are saying, well, why are these people so stupid to go to a war zone? Well, they should just be left there. Really? Again, these are just kids traveling with their family to see their family back at home, knowing it might be the last time. And supposedly, the United States military was not leaving until the end of August.
Well,
nobody could have predicted this from their viewpoint.
Yeah,
all right?
of
Maybe
course
some
not.
high-level think tanks could have figured it out, but not the average kid going back with mom and dad to see the family.
Well, and I don't, a lot of people, hey, we should have left Afghanistan. We never should have been in Afghanistan. We should stay in Afghanistan. I don't care where you are in the argument, whether we should be there still, should have left earlier, whatever. I don't think there's a person out there that can defend the way they left over the last couple months or last month or so.
That's the problem.
What a complete and total soup sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
And there's, if you screw up government, and you end up spending too much money or something like that, okay, fine. But when you screw up government on this level and people die, there should be some severe accountability. Severe.
And these are our kids at this point. They're our kids. We got to get our kids back here.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, and let us know how it goes.
Will do, guys.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. You can watch us live every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, right here on our YouTube channel, or if you're in the San Diego area, you can listen to us on 1170 a.m. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform for free. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can help restore and protect the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.